Hello everybody and welcome to World E-Racing League Season 4 Round 2. Anyways, welcome back to World E-Racing League. It is round 3 of Season 4 in the F1 today. We are in Belgium at the Spa-Francorchamps. 4 was hoping to be a good race. We don't have quite as many as normal. We may have our favourite Irishman, Regan, Mr. As actually Regan in fact thinks it's a sprint today. So, un momento. Chill up. Huh? I can't hear what you're saying. Where are you? Let me fucking invite you here. Oh my god, it's doing this thing again. Right, it might take me a minute. No. Hold up, can you hear my music? Don't know why I put my AirPods, I think I left them in the car. Oh no, they're behind me actually. Perfect. But I haven't got anything ready. I haven't got a track map or anything because I've been... Nope. There we go. Okay. No, that's not even the first person on track. Zito's off is the first person on track, followed by the Mercedes off. There's two Mercedes on track, goddammit. But we're getting ready for, obviously, round 3 of this season. It's been a good season so far. We'll get up with drivers and constructors standings as we're at the start of qualifying. Actually, we'll get the constructors up now. Up in lead on 82 points, and it's Mercedes on 39, Ferrari on 36, Aston Martin on 35, Sauber on 20, McLaren on 11, Haas on 10, Racing Bulls on 4, Williams on 2, and Red Bull still yet to score this season, but we're about to have Zito Zaf. Okay. Yeah, go on then. But we have Zito Zaf. Ferrari, since they haven't got anyone tonight. Please. Zito's off through Eau Rouge. Radion now down the camel straight towards the end of sector 1. So see what Zito Zaf can do in this session here. Down to watch Puan now. As we've owned CFC retiring after due to serving his qualifying ban he picked up from last week, but continuing on here we have Zutazaf. Let's see what he can do. This is 115.1 through the first two sectors here, and now to race up to the end of sector 3 towards bus stop. Little hill towards bus stop. Let's see what he can do. I'm going to mute, by the way. Muting so I don't distract you whilst you're driving. As Zutazaf has a 144.184 as the opening lap in this qualifying session. We have Joe next. He's just on a bit of a banker lap here, not taking it too hard. 150.9 for him. Next is going to be Galeand, who is in the pits. So he invalidated his laps in his lap into the pits. After Ryan next. 115.6 through the first two sectors into the bus stop chicane now. Navigating that nicely, and now it's towards the end of his lap. Can he take provisional pole? He can with a 1 minute 43.8 for the Williams driver. Next is the Aston Martin of Ryan. He peels into the pits. Next is going to be the Mercedes of Rob. He's looking to be going strong. He's had a couple of good results. Oh, he had a good first round this season. He takes provisional pole by 8/10 over Arctic Ryan. So 143.0. This is very good for Rob. Seen him having massive improvements going into this season. And now Scorpio 1 minute 44.97 into fourth as it stands end top of 115.024 through the first two sectors. Let's see what he can do on his lap here as it comes up to the end of it. Through bus stop, a little bit of a slide through bus stop, losing a little bit of time there. Till the line. He goes into second with a 1 minute 43.544. Very good lap for the Sauber driver. So with Gele and Orion yet to set a lap time, both being out on that, and HMB here on his out lap for Ferrari without either Regan or Chenky there tonight. Regan being summoned to pick up his girlfriend after her car's broke down, and they'll have to sit there waiting for a tow truck. It's a rough evening for him tonight, as Joe actually goes fastest now with a 1 minute 42.5. So didn't realise that he was on a push lap there, but he was, and to the line he goes to the top to make a Red Bull, not a Red Bull, a Mercedes 1-2. We got there eventually. And now let's go on board with the Ferrari of HMB and let's see what he can do up through Eau Rouge now. And on to the chemistry now. It's just flat out to the end of sector 1. Let's see what the time will be at the end of sector 1 here. It's a 30.5 through the first sector. And now into the second sector. Goes through the corner with no name now, and now it's a run down into Puan. And if it works nicely for him, he will get a bit of a turn from Orion on the back straight here up towards bus stop. So that could be beneficial for him if it works out that way. But now coming towards the end of the second sector. Let's see what the time is at the end of this sector. 115.3, so it's on par with what Rob and Entok were. So it's a pretty good, solid lap put together so far. Now he's up the back straight on the way towards bus stop. And into bus stop he goes. Through the right now into the final corner, left-hander. And now his foot down to the end of the straight as a 43.898 into fifth for the Ferrari. So just have a look if anyone else on a lap. Currently Ryan is into the pits. Mercedes of Rob is out. Let's see if he's on a push lap here. up into the final 2 corners. He also peels himself into the pits. So it's Orion here on a lap. We missed the first sector split for him. Zito's left Scorpio and Galliend all out on out laps at the minute. To see how this session goes as we're halfway through the session. And now Orion up towards the end of the second sector. Let's see into the right hander, and now we'll see what the first 2 sectors are for Orion. It's a 15.7 so far. Orion up towards bus stop, the braking zone, down into first gear, now through the bus stop, has foot on the floor again, DRS open to the line, it's 43.8, so he moves up into 5th, it's 8.76, so it's just ahead of the Ferrari, not by much though, Zito's off now going through a Rouge. Let's see what he can do. His DRS is open on the camera straight now, and his foot to the floor, flat out, and he's 100th up on his personal best. We'll go to Galliend as he's now coming onto the camera straight as well with DRS open. Let's see what his first sector is. This is 30.3. Now down into P1 for Zitozov. Nicely through P1, not invalidating corner, which if you turn in too late it's very easy to run wide and invalidate. Same if you want to steer, can be a bit tricky, especially when you have dirty air of cars in front. But Zitozov to the second sector, he's half a second down, so he's lost half a second in the middle sector. Let's see if we can find it in this final sector now. Now up towards bus stop to the braking zone, takes it in second, different to how Ryan took it. Now DRS is open and to the line, he loses 1/4 a second. Get in now, coming to the bus stop chicane, and will he take provisional pole? He's showed he's got pace this season's at 41.7. He does take provisional pole. Scorpio method now, 1/10 up through the first sector, 6/10 up through the second, so he is flying on this lap in the Racing Bulls car. And let's see what he can do to rounding the final corners now into bus stop. Now DRS open and his foot to the floor as he heads to the line. It's a 44.297. It's not enough to jump on up ahead of Zitozov. It remains him in 9th position. Entok 3/10 through the first 2 sectors. Can he jump himself up past Rob? That's the question now. Can he split the Mercedes as into the bus stop chicane he goes? He doesn't have the same slide as he did last time on the exit, and it's a 42.8, so he does separate the Mercedes, 7/10 improvement. And next is Joe, who's 5/10 up on this at the minute. As he heads into the bus stop now, as we're coming into the final 5 minutes of the session now. Joe, DRS open, down to the line. It's 42.1, he finds just under 4/10 improvement, not enough to knock Kelly off the top spot. Ryan now invalidated, and he looks to be on an in-lap. Zitozov also coming in the end. Also coming in. So everybody seems to be on an in-lap now, apart from the Ferrari, who's down in 7th, just off of Ryan in 6th. and not that far off Ryan in 5th, so those three are in for a good battle in this qualifying session now. I apologise for that sneeze, that was very aggressive. Ugh. It's one of them sneezes which you feel through your throat and top of the mouth. Ugh, it's a horrible feeling. I do not like that feeling at all. Now what can Ferrari do? Sitting in for Regan and Schenke tonight and starting the lap now down in towards turn 1. This car slow down and nicely through turn 1. We have a few drivers on their outlaps now getting ready for their final runs. Spa being a long track, you don't want to leave it too late to get out of the pits. And now, camel straight, DRS is open, but to the floor at the end of the first sector, 2/10 down. Oh, and that is going to be bailing out of this lap and getting ready to go again. Next time he gets time to get round, get that battery recharged. There's plenty of time left in the session to do it. So no need to worry about that. So we'll go on board with Rob, who's coming up to the end of the track ready. So Rob through the first corner now on the run down into Radio, Beau Rouge on Radio. DRS is open onto the camel straight now. And we'll see, will Rob be up through the first sector or will he be slightly down? That's what we need to find out. It's 400ths of a second up. Margins in this. It's going to be a close battle between him and Entok for third in this qualifying session, you'd feel, unless someone can cause a shock and dart up above them. Through the corner with no name now, down towards Bourne for Rob in Mercedes. Takes a little bit of that inside curve, but doesn't affect him that much. Just needs to keep the consistency through the rest of this lap. Keep the foot down and you'll find the time. Now to the end of the second sector, 6/10 up, so he's finding a lot of time through this second sector, and now can he do that in the third as well? Now up into bus stop chicane. Gets the car slowed down and through the bus stop, and now DRS open, foot down, Joe retires from the session. 3.5 improvement in the air, just jumps up above of Enter. Next will be Orion, he's 4 thousandths up. Bro, 2 thousandths up. So this is, as Orion has in fact invalidated him, he won't have time to go for another lap as we are into the end of qualifying now. So what can the Ferrari of HJMB do here? It's rounding final 2 corners now. To the line, jumps up into 5th for now. Can Ryan possibly dispossess that 5th place? As Zitozaf now to the line. Moves into 5th in fact, so Zitozaf takes 5th. Scorpio will be next, he's 6/10 up, he moves into 7th. Entok now, 600th down in this battle with Rob for 3rd place in qualifying. Loses time in the final sector. Ryan now 8/10 up. What can he do? Moves into 5th positions. 2 drivers. Oh no, sorry. Gele and is the last driver 3/10 up currently. He's got pole guaranteed. We'll see what margin he can have. This is a 41.344. And interestingly enough, P7 and P8, HMB and Scorpio, 1 minute 43.621. This is the 2nd week in a row we've had 2 drivers set identical times in qualifying. We had the same between Regan and Ryan last week in the sprint, which no one had noticed at that point. But we had the same last week as well. So, we'll go through the driver's standings. Let's wait for Rob to finish. So, at the moment of the season, Gelly leads the title with 59 points. Then it's Abadan and Gabriel joined with 23. This is Kuchan. Actually, neither of them showing today. Both of them not able to. Then it's Chenki on 22, who is also not here. So this is a chance for Rob to jump into 2nd in the championship. He's on 21 points. Then it's Entok on 20, Joe on 18, Regan on 14, Ryan on 12, Owen on 11, who served his quality ban here. There's Proltra on 8, Scorpio on 4, Winston on 2, Cooler on 2. Then Leogos, Volt, Azizi, Zitozaf, Angry Ink, Randro, Crancy, Ryan, Kieran, S22, Liam and PLH all on 0 points at the moment this season. With confirmation of your starting Regale and takes pole by almost 8/10 over Joe. Then it's Rob in 3rd, Mercedes 2-3. Then it's Entok, Arctic Ryan, Zitozaf, HMB, Scorpio, Orion and Owen. Oh god. And my AirPods are not staying in my head right now. Well, not in my head, in my ears, because I've got a headset over them. People who know this pain will understand. Anyways, no formation lap, so when we get the thing that we're going, we will be going and we won't be staying behind a formation lap. For those of you who are new to watching. So yeah, that is how that works. That is the start procedure. If anyone has anything to say, get involved in chat, any predictions for the race win, anything like that. As now we are going to go to the 5 red lights. As lights on, away we go for this Belgian Grand Prix. It's a good start from Gelly and it's also a good start in behind for Rob. Ryan goes into the back of Entok. Entok broke slightly early there, and Rob is now going to have a look at it down the inside. Joe is up into the lead now, going around the outside of Gelly. They're going to send a wheel-to-wheel down in towards Eau Rouge. Gelly backs out, and Joe takes the lead of this race now. Rob in 3rd, Gelly in 2nd. Then it's Entok in 4th. HMB's got himself up into 5th. Orion and Zitozaf having a bit of a tussle for 7th place here. Then it's Scorpio and Owen at the back having a little bit of a fight for last place. Gelly now makes it back up past Joe. Joe holds it on the inside. There's contact between them. Rob and, well, a couple of drivers. Rob, one of them, going off the track further behind. Everyone is close together. On this first lap, Ryan is up into 4th, and holding on to 3rd here, as Rob has dropped down into 7th place, HMB dropping down to 10th. Owen and Scorpio both making positions there, but Rob leads by half a second over Gilly. And it's a good battle between the two of them now, as Owen is going to make the launch down the inside of Scorpio into Pouon. And Scorpio down to 9th. Owen trying to make ground after the serve in the quality ban today. Stop being a pain in the ass, you stupid dog. Thank you. So, Joe leads Gilly. Endog is now starting to try and close the gap to Gilly. Gilly, not sure what tyres everyone's on off the start, as we will have a look at the tyres. So Gilly and Scorpio opting for the hard tyres, everyone else opting for the mediums off the start. So a difference in, or a split in strategy, 8-2 today. 80% of the grid go mediums, 20% going hards. We'll see how that pays out. As Zitozaf and Rob going wheel to wheel, a little bit of contact between the two of them. Joe's as fastest lap of the race in the first lap of the race, and the Ferrari into the pits early on here. It's hard going onto the Ferrari. They didn't change the wings of Ferrari, not changing any front wing, so Ferrari strategy playing key here tonight. Owen and Rob now going wheel to wheel at the end of the chemistry. Rob holds 7th place against Owen. Rob just dropping back off the back of Zitosaf a little bit. Entog now starting to lead the DRS train. He's almost 2 seconds behind Gillian now. Gillian is almost out of that 1 second gap to Joe. So Joe's driving well here tonight, out in the lead. Will he be the first driver to stop Gillian in one of the main races this season? Obviously, one in Vegas, one in Kota. Will today be his undoing? Only time will tell, as the gap is now over 1 second. Zitozaf has found the wall further back towards the end of Sector 2. Lets everyone through before getting the car out of the wall, but he's going to be in for a front wing, you'd imagine. It's now dropped down into 9th place. And that looks like it was a rather powerful shunt into the wall. Skellion now getting himself back within a second, and Rob and Owen once again going wheel to wheel into bus stop. Who will come out on top? We'll ride on board with Rob. Owen gets the better exit, but Rob is going to look to position his car onto the inside into turn 1 and then decides to back out of any move there. So he's possibly going to opt for the DRS on the Camel Straight, although he is missing an end plate on the right hand side of his car. Zitozaf into the pits, and he's missing a good quarter off his front wing as a new front wing goes onto the Red Bull. Softs, interestingly enough, going onto the Red Bull as well. And now we'll go back to Owen. Has gone ahead on Rob, and Rob starting to look to struggle a little bit here. That end plate could be playing key to that as he throws a run wide input on there. And now his teammate still out in the lead of this race, trying to open that gap up over a second. Gilliant not allowing that to happen just yet. They put them hard to work to stay within a second, and he's doing a good job of it as well, as he's in fact closing the gap down on the way up towards bus stop here. And Doc still leads the DRS train behind Arctic Ryan in 4th. He's also missing an end plate. So few missing end plates at the moment. As we'll go on board with the top 2 here, as they continue, or as Gillian continues the chase on Joe out in the front of the pack. Can he catch or will he not succeed? That's the question. As he's going to have the helping of the DRS down the Camel Straight as Ferrari is in again. This would be for the front wing now. Gillian does get back into the lead of this race. Joe is going to in fact look back to try and attack. Doesn't quite happen there. And now we'll see, did the Ferrari get a new front wing? He did so. Ferrari, remembering where the front wings are kept in their garage this time around, and a new front wing on to the Ferrari car. Joe now is the chasing car on Gillian. And now let's see. Can Joe close the gap and catch up on Gillian? Well, he's within a second, so there's a good chance that Camel Straight he could make happen. Gillian with a very good exit off the turn one. Now let's see what can happen. Joe closing the gap down now towards the DRS. He's going to be just over 4 tenths off. Now DRS is open. Can he close it down? Gillian has very good straight line speed. Possibly usage of battery as well to aid him in opening that gap up, or keeping that gap open. But half a second right now is the gap between the top two, as they will continue to go to battle. Entog still leading this DRS train from third down. He's having a good race for himself here, up in the podium contention at the moment, but he can't let that get to his head. He needs to just keep himself mentally prepared. We know that rain is his preferred weather, his preferred option of weather, as he is somewhat of the master in the rain here in World E-Racing League. However, he's having a good race in the dry. He is losing time to the cars ahead, but he's trying to open up a gap to Arctic Ryan here and try to take the pressure off him and put on Arctic Ryan a little bit. It's 9 tenths gap. Briefly open to just over a second, but then closed down again. Let's see what the Sauber driver can do. As Ryan, Owen and Rob all also in this train, so third down to 7th in this DRS train, as we'll go back on board with the leaders now. It's through turn 1, now down towards a Rouge for them. Now up through a Rouge, 6 tenths the gap. It's bigger than it was last time, but can Joe make it work this time? This gap slowly coming down, and Rob picks up the first time penalty of this race. It's a 3-second time penalty for him. The track limits. Looks like that was going through a Rouge where he picked that up. And it looks as if in another lap Joe's just going to sit behind Gillian. Just recuperate, recycle, get ready. Interesting enough, Zetasaf still out on them softs. Be interesting to see how long they go here with the beam. Longer track than most. Well, the longest track on the calendar, so it'll be interesting to see how the tyres hold up here, how the softs hold up, as there is, as we ride on board, as in fact, up ahead, Orion and Owen going wheel to wheel. Owen briefly got up ahead of Orion. Orion gets the position back. And we're starting to see a little bit of impatience in this DRS train. Zentok has now broke the DRS to Ryan. So Ryan down to Rob, all in the DRS. As Owen and Orion go wheel to wheel. Orion not leaving much room for Owen there. Owen hanging around the outside. There's this contact between them, and Orion is now missing a front wing. In the wall, missing a front wing. Yellow flags out in Sector 3. Orion was not willing to give that position up, as being a bit more contact by the looks of it between Owen and Rob, and now Ryan has got a 3.5 second buffer zone to them, and he's pulled himself back into the DRS of Entok. Gellian now out in the lead. His hards are now starting to kick in, as there's a 1.5 gap to Joe now, so Joe lost a second in the last lap. Interesting things happening down here tonight. So Ryan, new set of mediums on, he's going to go for the 2-stop here today with that front wing change. And Rob, who's still missing a front wing, see what he can do. These two will continue to... We'd suspect Rob is going to go at it, because Rob doesn't want to lose too many points to his team. He wants to score good points as well from Mercedes. As with Alpine only having one driver here tonight, it's a good chance for Mercedes, with 2 drivers, to try and limit damage Alpine's doing so far this season. Gap currently 43. Second and 6th will close it down to 42, but Rob's going to want more. He's going to want to try and get 5th, maybe 4th if he can put his foot down and show that he's got the pace to do it. But he's almost out of the DRS with McLaren ahead of him. Rob now does close the gap down a little bit through the final couple of corners there. And it's now a case of when do people pit? When is the pit window here? That's what we want to find out now. So Rob barely staying in the DRS. Further up ahead, we have Ryan, who's still in the DRS. Rob is actually flying down the Camel Straight towards the end of it now. Through the last couple of corners there, and he is starting to put his foot down and close that gap to Owen again. Just trying to manage the tyres at the same time. Further ahead, we have Ryan and Entok. Ryan is starting to try and close Entok in again. Whether or not he can is another question, but as it stands, he is. Now let's see. As Joe is in now on this lap, as he does have time penalty for him down in 9th. Joe pits. Hards on, and he's out. Also in is Entok and Owen. So they're also opting for the undercut here. Who else is in? No one else is in this lap. So Arctic Ryan up in 2nd, Rob's in 3rd. Both of them opted to stay out, as Scorpio started on the hards. He's also still out. As Zitadaf has 2 softs, 3 laps he's in, and it's hard going on his car now. He's going to be going to the end of this race now on those. So Zitazaf down into 10th, HMB ahead in 9th, then Ryan in 8th, just on the back of Owen again now, 2 seconds off roughly. We look at the wrong car there, so he's going to look to try close into that gap now. Ryan stays out another lap, interestingly enough, as Rob's going to come in this lap and he's going to go for the undercut on Ryan here. Joe up into so Rob into the pits. Hards are going to go into the Mercedes, so both Mercedes now on the hards. Rob went the extra lap. How much will that cost him? Where will he come out? It's going to be interesting. It's going to be close between him and Orion. He's going to come out behind Orion. So, behind Orion, but he's got the fresher tyres. And Orion is starting to close in as HMB, the Ferrari, into the pits. You suspect it's going to be hard tyres on now for Ferrari. As it is the hard tyres going on to the Ferrari. And I've got a feeling now that will be to the end of the race. Zitazaf will get up ahead of him, but it's going to open up an interesting fight for P9 now. Antok in 5th. What's that? Yeah. So Ryan now into the pits. Now he's got an end plate missing. Does he opt to repair it or not? He's had a good race so far, so you'd suspect he won't, but what does he have in mind? Into the pits he goes. No front wing change. Where will he come out now? He was ahead of Rob before he pit. He's gonna come out just behind Owen. And he's within the DRS of Owen as well. So he's pulled himself out in 6th place. Now as for the cars ahead of him, Scorpio, who was behind him, still needs to pit. Galliard still needs to pit, but you suspect Galliard is going to come out ahead of him. Galliard had about a 20.5 second gap to Joe, so it'll be interesting to see if Joe can jump him when he does decide to eventually pit. So, strategy differences all around here, and it's now just who can make the most of their strategy. As hell, it's 3.5 now in the gap, the battle for 9th place. So that's an interesting one to keep our eyes on. As Ryan just out of the DRS now. As there's a yellow flag further back, and what's happened there? Zitazaf, he's missing an end plate again. He's down into 10th. I was saying it's an interesting one. I mean, where it was, there's a chance he could have just caught the curb and gone and just lost control of the car there, but be an interesting one. In fact, Zitazaf isn't missing an end plate. I thought he was, but he doesn't seem to be. Now, he's going to battle with the Ferrari ahead. A lap fresher tyres, but that doesn't necessarily mean he's going to be the faster car, as he is going to make the move up into bus stop chicane. Now, what can the American do? Can he hold himself onto ninth? Can he finish the race to score Red Bull their first points? We're in the second half of the race now. A lot of questions which need to be answered in this race though. Ryan picks up the 3-second time penalty for track limits as we switch to him. He was running wide through P1. And he's on the back of Arctic Ryan now. He's on the mediums. Everyone else is on the hards. He's on the mediums after that early pit stop. He is going to have to pay again as he started on the mediums. How much is that going to cost him? You'd suspect that he'll come out ahead of the Red Bull and Ferrari further back, but there's no guarantee if he has something happen between now and when he pits, or anything like that. Doesn't necessarily mean he will come out ahead of them, so just have to keep an eye on that. Scorpio in the pits, he's done 12 laps on his hards, he's now in the box. There'll be mediums going on his car, you'd suspect. So, racing balls in the pits, his mediums on. And now we wait and see, when does Gallian pit? How long does he take the hards? How much of a tyre advantage does he give himself over Joe? Many questions which we're going to find out the answers to as this race continues. As we'll go back and continue this. And watch of this battle for ninth as the Ferrari DRS Open. Will he make the move into turn 1? We're right on board. He goes for a late move into turn 1. Cesar had to leave the door open. As now they're going to send it wheel to wheel through Eau Rouge, and that was a beautiful move from the Ferrari there, and gets the DRS. See yourself burning battery here to try and stay. Will he send it? No, he doesn't go for a move. Ferrari runs deep, so Zitasaf does get back up in ninth, and this is a good little battle between the two of them going on here. Both making small mistakes, letting the other one through. Go back up here at Ryan. Still on the back of Ryan. That's not confusing at all in the same sentence with them two names. It's hello to the Twitch chat. God, I feel like I'm just a streamer, not a commentator right now. Anyways, it's good to have a little bit of activity in the Twitch whilst the race is going on. It gives a bit of a bit more immersion. Get involved in the action there. There's no link to the driver of the day, sadly. I'm not that advanced in my head right now to do that. Ryan picks up another 3-second time penalty. Interesting. He's now got 6 seconds of time penalties. I forgot what 3 plus 3 was momentarily. We ignore my highly educated mathematical skills as he catches that curb on the right hand side through the corner with no name, loses out. He kept himself out of the wall, he kept himself out of getting any damage, but he drops down behind Rob, and now Galliend is in pits, and this is what we're waiting for. Galliend pits. Where will he come out in relation to Joe in this battle for the lead of this Grand Prix? Mediums going on, so 7 laps will be done on these mediums, or 8 laps, I can't work out in my head. We'll ride on board with Joe to see where the two of them come out in comparison. And it's going to be close between the two of them. Galliend is going to just come out ahead of Joe. Half a tenth between the two of them. Galliend timed that to perfection, but he's got cold tyres now, they need to get up the temperature. And a Mercedes tearing down on his rear end as HMV in the Ferrari picks up a 3-second time penalty. Ryan now in the pits now. This is what we want to know. He will drop behind Scorpio. How far ahead of the Red Bull and Ferrari battle will he be when he comes out of the pits? Hards on to Ryan. He could have tried to do what Zetas have done and take softs about 7 laps, but he's decided not to try it, as he picks up a 10-second for crossing the pit lane exit. And I thought that as soon as I seen how wide he was taking the exit, that, I mean, there's a possibility that they'll be asked to be looked at by the stewards, but it was very wide exit and picks up the 10-second to give himself 16 seconds of penalties now. 23 seconds of the gap to Zitazaf and HMB in the Red Bull and Ferrari behind. He's got a lot of work to do now to try and get the P8 guaranteed here. As now Joe and Gallient will relight their battle at the front of Gallient. In fact, gets out of a second window. Rob picks up a 3-second time penalty. He's down in 6th with 6 seconds now. He's got an 8.2 second gap to Scorpio behind him. So anything can happen in this race, but Gallient on their mediums is flying already. He's nearly got a 2-second gap, and we started the lap with a second. So he's opened up a second in one sector here. Further back, HMB back up into 9th, ahead of Zitazaf. We were right on board with Zitazaf as he's a bit of a ride up the curve from the Ferrari, and these are still going at it a few laps later. And now into bus stop. Zitazaf. A little bit of a poor exit of the bus stop, loses it about half a tenth to a tenth through the exit. We'll go to the outside. He won't look for any moves here as the Ferrari runs deep. As Zitazaf has a little bit of a snap on the exit of turn 1 there. So neither of them able to separate, neither of them able to find anything definitive to separate them, but we'll move forward for a second. As I thought there was going to be an overtake for third, there's a battle for third going on, as now these two are going to go wheel to wheel onto the Camel Straight. Zitazaf gets in front, Gallient, fastest lap, 1 minute 43.3. He is flying out in the lead. We will come back to these two in a moment, as the battle for third is starting to heat up. Entok versus Owen. Into bus stop. Entok defends well, he has a snap mid bus stop. There's a little bit of contact due to that snap. Owen will have the DRS down towards turn 1. As Zitazaf now has had an incident. Is he got any damage? He doesn't have any damage, but that's going to take away from that battle for 9th for the time being, although the Ferrari is going slow now, possibly trying to reinstate their battle between each other. Now Entok v Owen down the Camel Straight. Will Entok try to send anything down the inside? No, he decides to tuck in behind the McLaren. And this is for third place in this race. So neither of them are going to win unless something dramatic happens to the top two here. Though they're not near each other to have anything dramatic happen in a battle with each other. But Owen up into third, Entok in fourth. Entok, you'd suspect, will wait for the DRS to try and make something happen. Now, wheel to wheel into the bus stop in this battle for 9th place. We don't often focus on the rear end of the field, but when there's a battle like this going on, you can't really take your eyes off it too much. Gotta keep our eyes on the other battles along with it, but Zitazaf had a little look into her route, decided against it. And now he'll have the DRS. Down the Camel Straight, he'll be put to the inside. Will he go for the move? No, he decides against that. He picks up another 3-second time penalty by taking a very, very tight line through there. Notes will go back on board with Entok and Owen up near the front as round turn 1 Owen remains in the lead. Entok will have the camel straight, although he has a snap on the exit of turn 1, and that's going to let Owen temporarily open the gap for Entok, closing it straight down again. Half a second, 4 tenths. It's going to be less than 4 tenths, it's going to be 3.5 tenths as they enter the camel straight. Entok sitting in behind Owen, getting the toe. He'll go to the inside at the end of the camel straight, and he'll retake P3. Owen had a little look for a switchback, possibly didn't work. Joe picks up a 3-second time penalty in second place, so that's almost guaranteed now. A Gelly and win. So now go back on board with 9th and 10th. The battle for 2 points. 2 valuable points will be for the Red Bull team. 2 valuable points for Ferrari in their attempt to reclaim or defend their constructors' title. No Chenky here tonight. He missed Vegas as well. Very costly for them, as there's a little bit of curb riding there on the exit of turn 1. But HMB in the Ferrari remains in 9th. Zitozaf remains the chasing car. Zitozaf has to make a pass and gain 3 seconds if he wants to get 9th. It's a big ask for the Red Bull man tonight. As there's no way through there, we'll go back on board with the battle for 3rd here. It's 2 battles to keep our eyes on. As Zitozaf retires, as Zitozaf's out! And safety car. Safety car's out, and Zitozaf was on the racing line facing the wrong way. He's got to have lost and hit the wall, but Rob and Scorpio now both in the pits. Rob onto the soft. Scorpio, what will he go on to? A long way down the pit lane. Because we're only going to get a lap of safety car. Surely. Surely it's only a lap of safety car. Scorpio also onto the softs. Orion, you'd suspect, will go onto the softs. He's also going to get that chance to serve the 10 seconds in the pits under safety car here. So for him, it's a good chance to get rid of that and basically reset it for the end of this race here. So Ryan, yeah, onto the softs for him. You'd expect most of the other drivers to also pay. It'll be interesting, this Entok v Owen battle, to either of them pit for the softs. If they don't and those behind do and catch up, there'll be a great chance for them to then jump them. This is the last thing Joe wanted as well. He's in this battle he's in the 2nd position right now. If everyone bunches up, he's got a penalty which he has to contend with as well. Does he opt to take track position? No, he also pits HMB and the Ferrari on to soft. Gellian, he's in. Softs are going to go onto his car as well. Everyone opting for the softs here. As we're going to get a lap behind safety car. And then we'll be back racing again. Entok, Owen, also both coming to the pits. Everyone will be onto softs. Ryan also into the pits. So everybody in for the soft tyres. And then it'll be a sprint to the end. Liz? No, he's not. Entok gets back out just ahead of him. Temporarily thought that Owen was going to jump Entok in the pits, but it's going to be a straight sprint to the end now. And that was from the safety car. we'll I don't know what we'll do with the safety car actually. There's nothing to talk about with the safety car. I don't even remember what happened in last week's race. Oh yeah, actually, in fact, whilst we're on the safety car, we'll talk about Regan. So, fun fact to those of you at home viewing this, Regan cannot read. Now, you may be sitting there wondering, what do you mean Regan cannot read? Well, what I mean by Regan cannot read is that Regan thought today was a sprint racing look. Very, very clearly on the calendar states Kota was the first sprint race of the season, and we said many a time that we won't do back-to-back sprint weeks. Now if you're wondering, well, when's the second sprint? Brazil in round 11. That's another 8 weeks away, 2 months away. So if you're ever wondering how good is the Ferrari team principal's reading ability, well, there is your answer. Regan, if you're viewing this at home, I am very sorry. As Gillian goes for the safety car restart, Entok gets left behind. He's going to have to now battle with Owen, and Ryan picks up a 3-second time penalty. Someone else picked up a 3-second time penalty and all that as well. Gillian now 2 laps to go. It's basically a sprint race at this point. Can Joe open up 3 seconds to those behind to get himself a podium? Owen and Entok are very close to one another. Those only 6 cars picked up by the safety car, with the whole no safety car the last 3 laps. Stingy, Majiggy, Mabob, whatever it's called. But now, Owen, Entok, Rob is behind them as well. Rob, this is a good chance for Rob to try to get some places now. And Ferrari, new set of softs going on the car. Is this a push for fastest lap? Maybe on the last lap of the race. It'll be a good chance to take 3 points out of this race if it is. Both Mercedes cars with time penalties. We know what tyres everyone's on. Everyone's on softs. We'll open up the time penalty menu as this is going to give us an insight into who can do what. And in fact, we'll just open up we'll open up the gap to no, actually no, prefer interval so we can tell easier. So Orion currently will drop behind Scorpio down to 8th. Scorpio will move up to 7th. Rob will drop in behind Arctic Ryan as his contact there between someone else. Rob yet again is missing an end plate. So there's a possibility he's had contact with Owen there, as he did drop back off the rear of Owen. Joe, 2.4 the gap to Entok here. So, can he keep up this blistering pace one last lap? He's going to get the helping of DRS down the Camel Straight as well from Gilliand. Further behind here, Owen is going to move to the outside. Entok is going to try to hold the inside. Is Entok going to try and defend it? Thought for a second Entok was going to try and send it down the inside. Entok drops down into 4th position currently. Still, anything can happen at the end here. Arctic Ryan currently on the road for 5th place in this race, without post-race penalties being taken into account. Ryan still 7th. And now, for HMB setting out for his final lap. An attempt for fastest lap. Fastest lap is a 43.3 currently. See what this lap will be. There's Joe. He's got 3.2 to Owen. He's out with DRS. There's no DRS down here anyway. He's going to have to pray that he stays 3 seconds ahead. He's going to get a podium no matter what here by the looks of it. Can he find the time in the final corner? But Gillian, he's took pole. He's currently got fastest lap. He's going to win the race. Will he keep fastest lap for a clean sweep this weekend? Joe finishes 2nd. Then drops to 3rd. Owen takes 2nd. Entok will finish 4th. only 0.117 between Owen and Joe. Entok 4th, Ryan in 5th, Rob in 6th. Ryan will finish 7th on track. Scorpio, however, is going to take 7th on penalties. Ryan 8th. HMB will get up the track thing. 7/10 up on his best currently. Can he take the fastest lap? Can he take 3 points? It's gonna be close here in the bus stop chicane. It's not gonna be fastest lap, however. It was a good thinking, good try at the end there. So, Galliant wins, Owen in 2nd, then it's Joe, Entok, Ryan, Rob, Scorpio, Ryan, HMP, and we lost Zitazaf near the end there. But that is it for this week in Belgium. We'll be back same time next week where we head to Italy, to Monza for the Italian Grand Prix. Thank you all for watching as usual. I'll also be back tomorrow for the EAWRC tier, but until next time, have a good evening or a good day wherever you are, and thank you for watching. Goodbye.